Hi guys, my name is Cassie and this is talktocl show. So today we have a special guest with us here and I'm not going to do much talking. He's going to introduce himself to us all and I'll know whom we are going to talk to today. So, hi, Derrick.
Hi, Cassie.
Okay, so I would like you to introduce yourself to my viewers.
All right. My name is Derrick Inkum, and
Okay.
I completed Community University of Science and Technology Economics 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from there, I think 2022. Yeah, I came to the UK to do my masters. So I have a masters in accounting and finance. Yeah, master of science in
Oh,
accounting and finance. Yeah, I
oh,
completed January 2024, and here I am.
oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
that's
that's a little introduction. I mean, that's a summary of it. Yeah.
that's okay. We'll take it from there. So,
Mm.
in the first place, why UK? Why did you choose to do your masters in the UK?
All right. So actually I have three alternatives.
Okay.
I mean, I wanted to school either in the UK, the US or Canada.
Okay.
So I did apply for a master's in the US. No, sorry. I started with Canada, yeah.
Okay.
So when I did apply, I think they told me that they had received numerous number of applications. So they've got my details. I should put in the application next year.
Okay.
So I was like, no. I mean, once they have bounced me on, then I just ignored it and
Was it the
tried.
embassy that bounced you or the school?
No, so it was the school. Apparently, and
Okay.
later on, it was that. I mean, I actually found out that it has to do with some of my recommendations.
Okay.
So I didn't go through. So I was not able to catch up with the deadline.
Okay.
Yeah, and because it's usually on the first come first serve basis, I didn't get the opportunity. So I didn't get the admission that year, but they told me that they were going to put me on I mean, they are going to give me priority if should I apply next year. Yeah, but I mean, I just forgot about it. And I applied to the US, I think Eastern Illinois University or something like that. Yeah, and also with that one, they after taking my application fee and everything, I mean submitting my application, they told me that the dean is going on as a retirement also, so they are not taking students for that particular year again. I should wait.
Oh.
Yeah, I should wait for the next year. So that year they were not taking students for economics. I should wait for the
Okay.
next year. And I'm like, if one door closes, another one opens. So I was like, why not the UK? Let me just check. After all, it's one of my options. So I did put in some applications and yeah, I had the admission and checked out the tuition fee and everything. And yeah, it sounded like a plan for me. So I ended up being here.
Oh,
So I did,
okay.
yeah. So one thing about me is that I just look at one school. So for instance, I did apply to one school in Canada, that for the whole year.
Oh,
Then,
okay.
then the next year I did apply to one.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. So it wasn't something that I was actually keen on. That I must go to university and I must do the masters within that time frame.
Oh,
So
okay.
just did one application, it didn't go through. Did another one, it didn't go through. Then I ended up doing this
Were
one.
you looking for scholarship or
With the UK, obviously you know that the US and the and Canada usually have more of the
most
scholarships.
scholarship? Yeah. So in
Yeah,
the UK,
exactly.
did you found it or it was a scholarship?
Actually, they gave me like, should I say 10% scholarship? The rest of the tuition fee was funded by myself, or let me say, yeah,
Mm.
my dad, my parent did help out with the funding. Yeah, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
That
my story is going to be a bit different because it's not really, a scholarship kind of thing. So,
okay.
yeah.
So you've been not on scholarship in the UK. How were you coping? I know your parents might be supporting
Yeah.
role, but then how were you also coping? Because I know as a student you're not allowed to work full time. And
Yeah.
definitely, or you were not working at all.
Oh no, I was working. Yeah,
Okay.
so me being on me not being on scholarship was not really a problem because the most important thing has to do with how you're able to cater for your tuition fee.
Okay.
If that is cleared out of the way, whatever work that you are supposed to, whatever menial job or whatever that you are going to do within that, limited time frame, because the student is entitled to work a maximum of 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that amount of money that you're able to accumulate for the whole month would be able to suffice your living expenses, which will include your accommodation and yeah, the feeding. That's the living expense actually. So yeah, that can suffice that. But the major problem has to do with the tuition fee.
Okay.
If you are not able to, look at how well you'll be able to generate the rest of the tuition fee, that is where the problem is.
Is it really expensive?
So it depends on the school. It depends
Okay.
on the city that you want to school in as well. Yeah, so I schooled in I studied at University of Salford in Manchester. You
Okay.
know, I didn't like London actually because it's overcrowded and it's overhyped. You want a
Okay.
place where it's a bit classy, but moderate. So I ended up uh, in Manchester, even though I had admissions in some of the schools in London. Yeah, so my tuition fee, I think, was around £16,000.
That is
Yeah,
for a year or
for a year, yeah,
oh, that's a lot.
yeah. So 16,000, yeah, and I think they gave me uh, is it? I don't even call it scholarship, but they gave me a scholarship of 3,000.
Okay.
So I had like 13,000 to pay.
To pay.
Yes. So which was and when you have that amount of money, I mean, with the 13,000, you are required to pay an initial deposit of that amount to show your
Before you move from Ghana.
yeah, 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 to show your
Okay.
commitment.
Okay.
Yeah, to show your commitment. Yeah, so I was asked to pay, and again, this is narrowed down to my school because every school has its own. What cuts across is that you need to pay an initial deposit, but as to how much that you need to pay for the initial deposit, it varies with respect to the school. So for
Okay.
my school, I had to pay an initial deposit of £5,500. Yeah, yeah. So I did pay that amount of money. And I was actually supposed to come in September.
Okay.
Again, after paying my initial deposit, the school sent me a message that they they received high number of people for that batch or that September. So they would want me to move it to January. They have the next available intake, which is January. And trust me, it was because I had already made a commitment. I would have just ignored the EK as well and just maybe start a cycle all over
Um,
again. You know what I mean? Yeah. But
yeah.
I'd already paid the initial deposit. And September, so I was hoping to enter in September 2022, but they
Okay.
asked me to reschedule it to January 2023. Yeah, so it was just like 4 months,
Interval.
interval. Yeah. So within that time frame, yeah, I spoke with my parents. Even though I was hurt that like you've already made plans that you're about to travel,
Yes.
everything is on point, and all of a sudden, I just after making the payments, they told me they have received it. However, I need to yeah.
Right.
So I spoke with my parents and they were like, oh, okay, within that time frame, that's enough. So for me, within that time frame, I got my tuition fee covered before I moved into the UK in December.
Okay. Okay.
Because I could come earlier. Yeah, so I could come like 1 month before the start date, which was in January. Yeah. So I had my tuition fee covered before coming to the UK. So all
Oh,
that I needed to do was just to, look at ways and means to suffice the cost for the living expenses, which I was even assisted anyway. So it wasn't really so much of an issue for
Stress.
me in
Okay.
terms of, it wasn't so much stressful. Actually, it wasn't stressful. Let me put it that way. Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
what about housing in the UK as a student? Was
yeah.
it also
Housing
expensive?
again, it depends on where you want to live. So
Okay.
in Manchester, it's classy but moderate. In London, it's classy but expensive.
Expensive.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So the houses in the UK, I think when I came, because I didn't know anyone in Manchester specifically, I ended up staying at the student accommodation, which I think I was paying about five 127 pounds per week. So it was around £470 per week. You
Okay.
know,
Was it a
yeah.
studio apartment? Was it a studio apartment?
It wasn't a studio apartment. It was
A shared up.
yeah, it was a shared apartment. Yeah, some
Okay.
sort of that. Yeah, yeah. So I had two other people in
Okay.
that I shared. Yeah, everyone has got their room. Just that we shared kitchen and
The
shared
washroom.
bathroom. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And we're all guys, and guys, we don't really mind saying things. Unlike you
You
guys, where
ladies.
everyone would want their own, space and whatnot. In
Yeah.
terms of the washroom and kitchen, yeah. So that was it. So I was paying around £470 a month. Yeah. So
Okay.
when you accumulate everything, yeah. So accommodation was okay, but there were other people who were paying about 700, 800. Again, it depends on
Where you
how
are.
you want to live and where you are coming from. So
Okay.
there are people who would want to live in, like, yeah, when you visit them, like, hey, this is your house, like
Nice.
your house is really nice and whatnot. For some of us, we just wanted a place where we could lay our heads, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, so accommodation was good.
Was
I
it
mean,
on
the price was
campus or
okay.
outside campus?
It was like 5 minutes walk to campus.
Oh.
So if we were supposed to be in Ken, USA, I would say that the accommodation was around the Idiasi Gate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So from Idiasi Gate to maybe the CCB auditorium, it's not really that far. Yeah. So, and again, you could get some around some
Oh,
of the
okay.
accommodations around. So the range of prices should vary between 400 to 600 for like a normal one. But if you want like a studio or you want like a one-bedroom apartment, you can look at 800 thereabout.
There, right.
And I
Okay.
mean, if you, it's like for those people, they would always get funding or they will always get support from maybe their parents or who else. Because if you want to work, I mean, considering the maximum 20 hours per week in the UK, you would not you would not get more than £1,000 at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as it stands now, the average or the minimum wage is £12. But at the time I
That's so
came was
low.
like, yeah, exactly. But it's pounds anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah. So if you are supposed to look at it from that perspective, you are looking at the end of the month getting like 880 to 950. And again, it's not everyone want, I mean, it's not like the jobs are already there. So when you get to the UK, like the next day you
You
start
just
working.
with them.
Sometimes you have to also go through the. Actually, you need to go through the process, get a job, and you know,
When you
uh,
talk in terms of that, is it difficult to find a job in the UK?
um, it depends. No, it's. I wouldn't want to say it is difficult, and I wouldn't want to say it is easy.
Okay.
And that's me being realistic. There are people that when they come, they have specific kind of job they are looking out for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for instance, let's say you were working in a bank way back in Ghana, and you want to look at getting a job in the bank. It's either the bank or nothing else. You would struggle in getting it. That is the honest truth, because these people, they don't really trust our experience. What we put on our CV and whatnot,
Yeah.
particularly coming from Africa. No, they don't really trust the experience.
Yeah.
They sometimes think that we can just liaise with the managers and just put them as
Them
reference
as
and put, yeah. So
yeah.
they really would like their own to do same kind of job. But if you are open minded about the kind of job you want to do, like it, for let me use this for example, like if you don't mind doing cleaning because it's like you're a student, so whatever
Mm.
that will help you, you understand. So maybe during the summer break you can look at getting internships, which most of the time are unpaid, but whatever that you need for the time frame, you can actually get a job. So in a nutshell, it depends on who you are and it depends on what kind of job. If you are open minded, you are most likely to get a job as soon as possible. But
Okay.
if you are restricted with options, I mean, if you want to look at just a few options, yeah, it becomes a little bit stressful. If that answers the question.
Okay, yeah, it
Yeah.
does. And so with you did masters in accounting.
And finance.
And what? Sorry,
And finance. Yeah,
in
accounting and
finance.
finance.
Okay, so comparing the education system in the UK and back home. I know this is masters and you did degree there. Is there any vast difference between the two?
Actually, there is vast difference between the two. And
Okay.
yeah, mine was actually very wide again because
Oh,
I did economics way back, but just because I wanted to have a bit of diversity in my field, so I decided
yeah,
to look at accounting and finance. After all of these are still in the business section or sector.
yeah,
Yeah, so um coming from KNUSC to this place, especially it's been an English domain country, it was a bit different with the accent. Sometimes I can't lie to you, I'll go to class and all that I can hear is, all right, see you guys next week, I'm not gonna lie to you. And it was a bit, and especially for me that I didn't have a background in accounting, it was very challenging. I should put
challenging.
it that way. Yeah, it
Okay.
was a bit challenging. I was like, did I really sign up for this? You know, yeah, but I mean, we had to push through it. Yeah, so their mode of teaching and also as well how they look at their grading and you know I think in KNUSC, I don't know, but well, maybe if it varies with the department, but plagiarism checks and whatnot was
Yeah, we
not
don't
really
really care.
keen. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were not really keen on it, but
yeah.
to the point that they educated us on what this whole thing can
Yeah,
actually, I mean, the
can
implications of plagiarism and
plagiarism.
whatnot,
Yes.
and how they are very keen on these things was just like something way different, Yeah, and because my master's is a 1 year master's, it was very intensive. So it was just like back to back assessments, back to back lectures,
Oh,
yeah. So everything. So the difference between the UK masters and that of the US and any other the 2 year master program is that what what the other people are going to do within the 2 years, everything has been crammed into a
come
year for
to
you. So you
yeah,
don't have breaks, everything is back to back
back to back.
throughout.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's usually not 1 year, it's like 9 to 10 months,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the pressure the pressure is too much, and especially you not having that kind of background or in terms of their style of education or their type of education. Oh yeah, if that's the actual word, yeah. You not having it from that perspective, and coming way back from Africa. Let me say Ghana. Coming way back from Ghana to the UK, you know, all in all, it was great. We were able to learn on the job, if I should say it that way. I was able to learn on the job. I was able to adapt to
Okay.
it, and the funny thing is that I was not all alone in that boat because I had some friends from Nigeria, some friends from
Oh,
other African
African
countries
countries.
who were also facing similar issues in terms of the high standard of education over here. So there was vast difference, but we were able to learn on ground and we were able to adapt to it.
No,
And one
okay.
thing that I've come to realize is that for these people, they want to know that you really have an understanding on of what you are doing and on
Okay.
what you are doing.
Yeah.
Unlike in Africa, where your lecturers sometimes they would want to mafia you, and like regardless of it, or they just want to know that you truly and truly understand it.
Understands.
Understand?
Yeah, which I
So
learned.
their style of assessment, the way they go about it, explaining a lot of things to you and whatnot. Even after, you can book a session with your lecturer, to talk about your results, to look at where you can improve on and whatnot. Yeah, so I think it's great over here.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's good to hear. And were you allowed to do internships during this period?
We're actually allowed to do internships. Yeah, we're
Okay.
actually allowed to do it, but it's just like because we don't have like those 3 month gap and whatnot. You will do internship will be like just maybe 3 weeks or a maximum of like 3 weeks. To be honest, yeah.
Have you faced any challenge so far
With regards to
with regards to like maybe personal life, maybe school, maybe outside, from maybe in terms of maybe could be racism or anything?
okay, racism, no, but to be honest, these people they can look at you, love with you. I mean, they will love with you and whatnot, but deep down their heart they don't like you. But and that's the honest truth. That makes my auntie was telling me that my auntie lived in France. Said for a French, he would see you, he or she would see you and tell you that I don't like you in the face. They will
Mhm.
tell you. But over here, they would laugh with you, even to the core. Like, but deep down their heart, they don't like you. It's like get into problem. That's where you would really know who they are and how much they were thinking of you. But that is not something that I have faced. I've not faced anything in relation to racism. Even if
Okay.
I'm faced, it's not like something that person has come to say or
They say
done
to you, oh,
intentionally. Yeah.
yeah.
And also to with regards to personal life has been okay. I believe that there has been in terms of like improvement and gradual transition, because when I came initially it was just, especially coming to Manchester all alone, didn't have any family here with me. It was just very lonely. You understand?
Did you
Like,
get, were you depressed at some point?
oh, depression set in. Like, I wouldn't want to say, like, depression is too strong a word, to be honest, but it was just like sometimes you are just on your phone and scrolling through to call someone, especially during the time that I had not gotten a job yet. Yeah, so I wouldn't want to say I was depressed, but I mean, I could feel what people who are depressed felt.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
depression is too strong a word for me anyway. Yeah, but it was kind of lonely, and even though I am outspoken and like I am very friendly, it's just like everyone is busy. Everyone doesn't have time for anyone. Like, you know, and if trust me, if you don't find yourself with some if you don't join any association like a church or maybe let me say then club associations and whatnot, if you don't find
Mhm.
yourself with one of them, you would not really enjoy the country, especially when you
Okay.
come all alone as a single individual. It might be very difficult because you wouldn't have anyone to talk to, you wouldn't have anyone to interact with. Yeah. So initially it was just like that because I had not gotten a job yet, and also to personally, my parents, when I got here, they were involved in an accident. It was really
Oh, I'm
that
so sorry.
terrible. Yeah. Oh, they are fine now, to the point that my dad had to use clashes for a moment and what. So all of those things were just eating me up. Aside me trying to look for a job, even though it's not like I needed a job to survive on because I had money in my account anyway. Yeah, but at the same time, it's just like everyone is working, you are just home.
Home, not doing
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. It makes
Yeah.
you feel, some kind of way. I don't know for you, but
Actually,
for
you
me,
can never stay abroad and say you wouldn't work because it's already boring staying indoors.
well,
So,
I did have some friends that did not mind working. Actually, I came to meet one
yeah.
of yeah, I came to meet one of my friends over here, and he was specific on the kind of jobs that he wants to do. So he came in quite earlier, like maybe 6 months ahead of ahead of me. I mean, I'm talking about the time he came to the UK. He told me he had not worked before, so he kept on getting money from home. I mean, his dad kept on
Sending
sending
him
him
money.
money. But I mean, I told myself that regardless of it all, I do not want them to send me money back from home. What they have done is enough. So I need
Yeah.
to get a job. Then I can continue from there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So me coming in and it taking a while for me to get a job too was also a contributing factor. But at the end of it all, everything was great, or everything has been great so far. I've been able to join some associations, and I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I mean, I can do better, but I'm doing well.
But you're doing better because sometimes I see your status. I mean, a lot of church,
Yeah,
singing, and all
we
of
are
that.
trying.
So,
Yeah, we are trying small, small. Yeah.
is it easy to make friends? I mean, with these foreign people?
Well, it's easy to make friends, especially from uni, like, because that's where you have a lot of. And one thing about these people is, like, I'm talking about the British, they don't really like to do masters and whatnot. And I think the issue has to do with, over here, right from college, they can do internship. And
Yeah.
there's a motivating factor. They are being paid for their internship. Right.
Yes.
So I mean, who wouldn't want to be? Because even as much as you are in for the experience, the money is also important. You understand? So they keep on building their experiences right from that time.
That time.
You
Yeah.
know, so the company would want to keep individuals whom they've worked with for, like, even if it's part time, they would prefer those individuals to you that you just maybe completed your masters and you want to fit in that company. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's more or less like, if I can get a job right after my bachelor's degree, what is the point in going to do my master's if the job is going to maintain me? And within the time frame that I am still on the job, I can do some professional courses to rise, through the ranks. Do
Okay.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
these people don't really like to do their masters unless a few ones that are actually focused on, like, going into the academia. Do you know what I
Academic.
mean? Yeah. But for the rest, they just do their bachelors.
And
They
then they're done.
get professional courses and rise through the ranks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that manner, you wouldn't see. Oh, well, for my school, I didn't see a lot of white people. The ones that I saw, somewhere from Holland, somewhere from Germany, yeah. But for the British themselves, I don't think there was any in my class, but I don't know for the other, you know. Yeah, so again, people can make friends from class. So for British, I don't really think, unless maybe my workplace, yeah, I do have a lot of them there. But for my school, I I have other people from other countries, but not necessarily. Yeah. So in a nutshell, I mean, in school you can make friends. In At the workplace, you can also make friends. At church, depending on the kind of church that you attend.
You attend to. Okay.
Yeah. If you are attending like a Presbyterian and a Methodist church where you speak Ghanaian language throughout, obviously they are not coming to that church. So how are you going to make friends with them? Or
Yeah.
maybe, yeah, you can look at maybe First Love or ICGC. Yeah, those churches you can find some over there, and yeah, it's really a nice experience to have these white people as friends anyway, because at the
Okay.
end of the day, you get to learn certain things about their culture, and you're able to fit into it. Yeah, so it's very easy to make friends some way somehow.
Was UK your first ever country that you've traveled to? Like
And
from
then,
Ghana straight? No.
yeah.
Okay. But what was your impression when you got to the UK at first?
My impression when I go to the UK, yeah. So, like I said initially, UK isn't my first country, but for all the countries that I have been to, it was just like a short travel, maybe
Okay.
for a month, some like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but coming with a notion that I'm going to stay here for only God knows that, because I didn't know when I was, or I don't, as at that time, I didn't know when I was going to leave. And as it stands now, I don't even know.
No.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's more or less like I was happy, but not really happy, because it's like this time around, I'm just going to stay all alone. Like, I don't have friends in Manchester. I don't have. So it was my first impression about the country. It's just I felt like it was really going to be a lonely place for me, which
Okay.
in fact they didn't disappoint me, because I told you the first. I mean, the country is something disappointed me. The first 3 months, I was trying to fit in the country, like looking for a job, trying to make friends and whatnot. So my first impression actually did impress me, if I should use that English. Yeah, but later on, I realized that, I mean, you define your own loneliness, because if you are ready to go out there to make friends, if you are ready to join, just like I said, associations, if you are ready to, there are people who are enjoying themselves over here in the UK much more than,
Yeah.
they have the opportunity, much more than when they were in Ghana.
In
you
Ghana.
know
Okay.
yeah, so it depends on the association as well, but I didn't really have a good impression. And besides, there were a lot of people that had passed on saying comments about the UK, in terms of, you know uh, the country is hard. Let me use that, the layman's English, like the country is hard. And I'm like, as it stands now, I've been here for like 3 years, like, yeah, I have not really, well, maybe I'm yet to see kind of hardness that they are talking about.
So you're saying it's not hard, like
It's
how
not
people.
hard. I wouldn't lie to you. Like, it wouldn't. You
Ah.
see, sometimes it depends on who, or it depends on your nature. So if you come in and all that you want to do is like work and spend your money, going to the club, to all the parties, paying expensive or living lavishly, let me put it that way. Yeah, obviously it will be hard for you, because there are
Okay.
people that are paying rent as far as like no, I was say 100,000, like £1,000 a month, which is way more than what you are going to receive as a student. So you then tend to fall on your parents and whatnot. But if you are looking at maybe paying 400, like spending like 200, or food is not really expensive, to be honest.
Expensive.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You can still make it. You understand? You'll be able to sail through gradually. That's why I'm saying that it depends on the individual. But in terms of how hard it is, I'm yet to experience it. I can't lie to you. Yeah. So if you want to spend your money on a lot of things, then obviously
It's
these
gonna
things
be
that
hard.
yeah, it's going to be very hard for you. And so if it has to do with it in terms of gain money and whatnot, it depends on how your expenses are. And again, I'm talking as a single person.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
understand? So there are people who would come in as a family. You understand? And so maybe it might not really favor them that way. But for me as a single person, I'll tell you that there is a way you can manage your life that it wouldn't be hard for you, because it's literally everywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's okay. What about the weather?
The weather is weathering. That's my own English anyway. Yeah, the weather. Um, Initially when I came, I came during the winter period, like I think November, December, thereabout,
Okay.
so uh I came to meet the winter. you know I stayed in London for a while with my
Okay.
auntie before moving to Manchester. Yeah,
Interesting.
so the weather was I mean, I was struggling a bit, not like a
Okay.
bit, but the way I would see my auntie going about with looking unconcerned with her style of dressing. I would be in like three tops with my jacket, and like, yeah, even though there is heater in the house, you can't always turn on the heater throughout, maybe for a while, but after you put it off, you feel the weather again. you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's it's been a while now, so I've been able to sail through. Even though you can never have the best of experience with the weather, regardless of. And again, this is me. Regardless of the number of years I'm going to stay here, I wouldn't really say that I have gotten used to the weather so much that I can, no. There are days that it can hit hard, especially Manchester. Manchester is much more cold, compared to London, because
Okay.
London is overcrowded, so the cold
That's
is yeah. So the weather is weathering again, like yeah. And sometimes trying to get on the bus, 10 times anyway. You will be at the bus station waiting for a bus for like maybe 20-30 minutes, depending on the day and some of the, and you could feel the coldness. You could feel, and during summer too, when the sun is out, oh my days, like, so sometimes we just ask ourselves. I have this Nigerian friend, like, so do you prefer the winter to
the
the
summer.
summer, or summer to the winter? Because whichever that comes, it hits hard. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's been good. It's been okay. I'm still managing it. I'm still managing it. Yeah,
You have no choice.
I don't have an option. You're right. Yeah.
What about their transportation system?
Yeah. So their transportation system is good. It's okay. It's not like our home country where like everything is organized. Let me put it that way. Because
Okay.
you can just stand somewhere and just stop a car, and but over here it's not like that.
No.
They have like designated bus stops that you need to get to. They have like designated times that the buses are going to get there. If you don't get there on time, the bus is not going to be there,
Yeah.
waiting for
Waiting for
people to
you.
come to it. Like if it's just one person, the bus will just move. After all, they are going to be paid. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, they are well organized, and as well as they stick to their time, even though there are some few hitches, like it's just once in a blue moon, but it's
Okay.
it's well organized. But um, it depends again where you live. Sometimes, I mean, with respect to the frequency as to which the buses come, people who are living a bit far, the buses may come like maybe 30 minutes, but when you live within the town center,
Hmm.
every 2 minutes, every 3 minutes, there's another bus coming into the scene. Like
Okay.
there's another bus coming, but some places it's not as frequent as is in other places. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
in general, it is well organized compared to
Okay.
Africa. Yeah, well
That's
organized. Yeah. So if you don't have a reason to get a car, you don't have to. Yeah, unless maybe you think you've reached a certain stage that you want to. All that I'm trying to say is that you can survive with their transportation without necessarily getting a car.
a
You
car.
understand? Yeah, but again, everyone would want comfort, so why not? If you can get it, why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's well organized. I think I like it.
So currently, are you working now?
So yes, I am working, but not anything in relation to my field anyway, because
Okay.
yeah, I'm working. Yeah,
Okay, that's good. Any misconception about living in the UK so far?
that's why I'm saying that like UK is very hard. I think it's a scam. It's a scam.
It's a scam.
I mean, I'll choose the UK any day. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I do like it. I do like it. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe unless in future something happens and I get to change my mind. You know what I mean? Because I've not had the disappointment apart from the loneliness that I experienced. The first 3 months I got here, in terms of whatever that I mean, the living standards in terms of everything. I think it's perfectly fine for me. I've not had a
okay.
struggle. I've not really faced any issue as it stands
Okay.
now. Yeah, unless maybe you want to go into the specific, then maybe I can't remember something. But as of now, I don't think I've had any issue that. Yeah.
Then that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. So what would you advise someone moving to the UK as a student?
Come.
What would
That's
you
what I was
ad-
saying. I would just tell the person, come.
You just told the person to come.
Just come. Just come.
But I heard it's so overcrowded and all of that.
No, no, it's
Or
not.
it's
It's
not.
not. It depends. Again, like I said, it depends on the city. It depends on where you
You
want to
want to
study.
live.
Because I
Okay.
think I've got a lot of friends also in Scotland. Scotland, there are not so many people over there. Yeah. And like I said, London is overcrowded. So I didn't like London.
Okay.
I
Okay.
wanted either Manchester or I mean, Leeds is also not bad. Yeah, Liverpool is also not bad. But again, I wanted Manchester. So, what I would say is that if you have ways and means to cater for your tuition fee, the living expenses, you can survive on your menial job or you can survive on the 20-hour job that you're going to get. You
Okay.
know, if only you have the means to pay for the tuition fee. And there are some universities in the UK, I think Teesside University, I can't even remember some of them, that they do have, a lower tuition fee. And that most of the masters, not all of them, some are actually 2 years, but most of the masters is just like a year.
Okay.
It's a year master. So imagine paying like maybe 7,000 to 8,000, or some can go as low as £4,000 for the whole year.
Okay.
Yeah, so paying £4,000 for your tuition fee, that is just for the whole year. Yeah, so if you're able to get that amount of money sorted, getting here, and obviously you need to have like a little amount of money till you get a job. Getting here and surviving on, the 20 hours would work. And again, I did have some of my friends who, for me, I was privileged to have my tuition fee covered before getting to the university. But I did have some of my friends who didn't have their tuition fee covered.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it is not possible to leave or it's not possible to, complete a school without, having your tuition fee covered before coming. Because some of my friends did, so they depended on the 20 hours, but the time frame that you can do your internship, which is the 3 weeks. Yeah. And so according to the immigration rules or whatever it is, within those, holiday period, you can do maximum number
40.
of hours. Yeah, I can do more hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
40 hours a week.
Yeah. No, it's not even actually it might be 40 hours, but you can do more and more, like
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah, as far as like 68, I think the maximum we can do with some of the jobs, even though unless your manager is really tracking you, I know what I'm talking about, but if you're
Yeah.
not tracking you can do up to like 80 hours a week. That is a 12-hour
Oh,
shift for maybe like throughout the week, like maybe a
okay.
night shift, what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of them took advantage because we've got like two of those breaks, like those 3 weeks breaks. Some of them took advantage of that time frame to do more hours, extra hours, and even from their tuition, no, from their living expenses, maybe something tiny added it up to it and covered. And again, sometimes it depends on the flexibility of the school. So for some schools, after you had paid the £5,500, you'll be left with like let's say 7,000. So they can ask you to spread the cost for the next 9 months. You can spread it, and for some schools they would require that you pay within the next 3 months after you are enrolled into the school.
Okay.
Yeah. So you need to look out if you don't have the required funds to get into the UK. You need to look at the conditions of the school. The conditions in terms of, after paying my initial deposit, how long do they expect me to finish or finish paying the rest of the tuition? So I think my school did have that kind of flexibility that you can spread across. You don't necessarily have to pay anything within the first 2 months of of being enrolled in a school. After the third month, you can spread it across through to you finish the school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had friends who were paying their tuition fee, so I think that's what they said. So they were able to cater for it from that perspective because it eases the burden if it's being spread across. You don't have
Okay.
to pay, like that 5,000 or 7,000,
That's it.
throughout at a
Yeah.
go. Yeah. So it just ease the burden. So they were able to, manage it. Some had money sent from home. Other people too were, staying with families. So they didn't have to pay for accommodation,
Accommodation.
you know,
Okay.
and even feeding to maybe just like maybe 100 quid, to support the family and you would survive on it. So they use that amount of money. I mean, there is a way out. There is a way out, but you don't want to stress yourself. Just
Okay.
try and get your tuition fee. Get it sorted. And you
Okay.
can depend on, yeah, that is the advice I can give. But if you really want to go the hard way, it's still possible. You need to look out for schools with lower tuition fee. You need to look out for their terms and conditions with respect to paying of the tuition fee. You need to also look out, as to when you want to come again. It's also important because for some of them, they would want you to, some of them, let's say you want to enroll in September, their terms and condition is different from being enrolled in January for some funny reasons. That is with some of the schools, not all the schools anywhere. So you need to consider all these factors. Yeah, then you can see to it whether it would really sound like a plan to move here or not.
Okay.
Yeah, and also too, they can also consider Ghana scholarship too as well, which is an alternative. I know, I understand because like this time around, I think it's all about money, but I don't have any evidence for that, so we can leave that over there. It's not really about your qualification. Yeah, so that is it. I would not discourage people from coming into the country. And no, I will not. I would never, never discourage anyone because education is an investment, which is a very good
Mm-hmm.
one. And
Yeah.
regardless of it all, if you're able to strive through to get the degree, it would go a long way to help you, in your future endeavors. So just come. Just come, you'll be fine. Yeah. But put in certain factors, consider certain things. There are people, some individuals have got families over here that could loan them some amount of money, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so that when you are done with school, you are eligible for like 2 years postgraduate visa, you know.
Mm-hmm.
With that one, you can work as many hours as you want. So
Yeah.
you're able to work and repay them back.
Okay.
That is also a
Another
plan.
way.
So you get someone to help you out, someone who will trust you that okay, when you are done with school, I will help you with your tuition fee. When you are done with school, I can. And some of them too, if you've got a partner too, because when you come in as a student, your partner can work, full time. Your partner
Okay.
can support you with the tuition fee.
Tuition fee.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're working full time, obviously you can cater for your tuition fee, Yeah, so it wouldn't be a problem. So there are so many ways and means to get enrolled. And it's not that difficult again because it's a 1 year master. You don't have to go through the stress for 2 years. It's just 1 year. So
Okay.
however you are able to get that amount of money within 1 year to sort yourself out, I would always say that try and get the tuition fee sorted. Like know the ways and means that you want to take off your tuition fee.
Mm-hmm.
And you will be fine. You can live on your living expenses. Maybe that might be helpful. Yeah.
That's okay. Do you think in general their job market is saturated? I mean, after school.
Um in general, it depends on it depends on what you study as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because can't get see AI is taking over a lot of things, especially even at the banks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes you go to the bank and it's just like two people in the bank. You can do a deposit without necessarily needing a human being.
Human being. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. whatever you want to do, you can sit home and create an account, and they'll bring you your card and everything. You don't have to go to the office. You understand? So getting to a country where technology is much more dominant, they don't need more of human beings. It's saying failed anyway, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the job market, it's really favoring people who are computer inclined, if that's the actual word. Like those
Yeah.
people, yeah, it's really favoring those individuals, and also people in the health section as well, you know. And I think it's something very general in the
Yeah, it's
diaspora, like,
everywhere.
yeah. So it's good, but regardless of it, though, you still get, because so far as they have like two people still at the their bank, so it's really possible. You could be one of those two individuals. So yeah,
Yeah.
it really would work. Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay. So, yeah, we are ending our our interview now. So, thank you for coming on my show. I really do appreciate it. But before you go, just say something to my viewers to subscribe to my channel and all of that.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, this is a really informative one that everyone would want to get involved in, because I feel like if we all had this opportunity way back, there are certain mistakes or certain things that we wouldn't have done. Sorry, yeah, because for instance, I think I did watch the one you had with Martin, which was very
Yeah.
informative, because like there are people out there. I get people reaching out to me on the one who's school in the UK and whatnot. It's like I can just send them the video, just watch it. Every information is over there. Trying
Okay.
to give every single individual that information will not really be helpful. So I think that videos like this is really informative and really helpful. So let's all subscribe to this channel, and I believe that everything will be fine. And we can also share it to our friends, because we are in an era where everyone is looking forward to advance in their education section. I mean, like, advance in their academic life.
Yeah.
So it's a very good one. I must even recommend you, or I must commend you as well
Thank
for,
you.
a good initiative. Because you could have looked at, all the other people, like, welcome to my channel. Let's talk about Sheen products and whatnot. But this is something, I'm sorry about that anyway. But this is something
It's
very,
fine.
very important. This is something that can open doors for a lot of people getting that information and whatnot. So it's really a good one, and we'll keep on sharing. We'll
Thank
keep on
you.
subscribing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so great. Yeah. God
Thank you
bless
so
you. Yeah.
much. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming. And I
You're
really do
welcome.
appreciate you for sharing your, I mean, it's not everybody that will do it, but I really appreciate you for sharing your story with us.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much. Okay,
Thank you
so
so
hi
much.
guys. So this is the end of our interview with Derrick, and I hope you guys learned one or two things from him. He really inspired us today because I mean I didn't know he funded his education by himself, but yeah, that is a whole lot to take in. But thank you for sharing your story
You're
with
welcome.
us. Okay, so we are ending it here, and then we'll see you guys next time in my next video. Bye.
Bye.